our future in society. One cannot understand the society, corrected, until one can understand the self. A future with a sustainable society is possible, as much as it is possible for any one person to achieve. That is to say, what works for one may also work for the entire group. In this video, we will explore the traits of a self and a society, in parts and in whole, and what keys can unlock any secrets of hidden code that improve our view of life, love, and liberty in firm, more lasting community designs. We present an address to some key questions in relation to sustainable society. 1. How does understanding and building the ideal self help to construct the ideal society? 2. What does a society expanded from our design of self look like, and how could it work? 3. How can understanding the Priori 7 foundations of self and society improve our lives, our homes, our communities, and even our nations? Part 1. How does understanding and building the ideal self help to construct the ideal society? We were born of the stars, from a vast milky void, and somehow find ourselves on this lonely planet while we grow, moving the land and animals steadily out of our path. Yet we deserve to be here, on this vast and fruitful earth. But how can we exist in this place, or coexist, to be more precise, with our neighbors of person, animal, and plants, and with ourselves, in resilient and peaceful nations? We see to understand self is to know your neighbor, and self-understanding is about knowing a series of values that grow, one on each other, until the maximum growth of the last is reached. As the chakras of life are ordered in 7, so are the 7 facilities of understanding self, to discipline the self, to better, for everyone. Now the first facility of self is trust. With it, we can place our lives or anything in its grip. Without it, we are lost, confused, and abandoned. Once a trust is firmly established, which is, by the way, no easy thing, then we can move to the second level of self-design. Care, the second quality of self, the facility that makes loving relationships, families, and homes worthwhile. With trust and care and stability, the third facility of self may be explored. Power, a quality of self-expanding, from exploration of knowledge, through understanding, to the wisdom potential of self. As the trust, care, and power of self are settled, the fourth facility of self is evolve, expressing the real energy of life, the passion of our hearts, to grow a love deserved, toward always a hopeful better, for self and those you love. Next, as the trust, care, power, and evolve of self are settled, the fifth facility of self may emerge. Explore. From any place, in order to find better, one must reach to the boundaries of self and the world, and maybe even beyond. We are all explorers at heart. Next, as the trust, care, power, evolve, and explore of self are settled, the sixth facility of self may show. Inspire. Without it, we are a lump on a log. With it, we are encouraged to great heights. We inspire through actions and words. So far, a pile of 6 cards of self, placed carefully on top of each other, waiting the final 7th and last facility of self to be placed. Dignity. A place for those on that careful shelf, who understand well the facilities of self. A living life of dignity deserved is worth so much more than words. So, to summarize, the facilities of self are built on trust, care, power, evolve, explore, inspire, and dignity. Take regard to these 7 features, considering each before the other. It will give your best chances to self, and to your sister and your brother. Part 2. What does a society expanded from our design of self look like, and how could it work? As each of the facilities of self are built, so may also the facilities of a society be built. As one is just a whole bunch of the other, and the needs for each are the same. In the self we firstly have a foundation of trust. On this our health of self is our immediate trust of life. Should not the first priority of community be the same? The health of citizens is considered priority number one, necessary for any sustainable foundation of self, family, community, or nation. As a mother to a child, or any author to another, we all require a stable basis of trust that those in charge, in leadership, or in a favored position, will care for the other, the weaker, the less stabilized, in a fair, efficient, and honorable manner. Secondly, the facilities of care in self relate to the social facilities of home, family, and environment. Priority number 2 on our list. Providing security is the basis of nurturing for life, and a home is the most stable foundation for that security. Everyone needs a home of some kind, to eat and sleep, to build and raise a family, a base from which to do just about anything. Now, as in building facilities of self, social building is the same. Each one should be satisfied before the next one is gained. Which brings us to priority number 3. The self-facility of power is expanded socially to education. As the social facilities of health and home are established, we may then consider expanding our knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of the world, a necessary feature to bring value to self and to any society. Next, we consider what do you do with trust in health, care in home, and power in education. We evolve, but to expand the self, or a nation, requires a lot of energy. Priority 4 on our list. Energy autonomy is freedom, and our passions of life are enabled with it, and can even flourish with it. Energy is required to do anything, anywhere, anytime. Considering that once a society has the foundations of health, home, education, and energy in careful place, what does one do next? In the facilities of self, the next is to explore, and for that you require transportation. Priority 5 on our list. The ability to travel freely in the vastness of our global citizenry is a critical feature for our societies. Doing so enables the free spirit of people to explore the world and themselves in revealing ways. Now that our evolved society is building foundations based on the self-facilities or needs of people, next to consider is the inspire of life. The priority 6 on our list. Communication. It is how we fulfill our creativity, expanding relationships, and productivity, to be heard and understood, with empathy and feeling, with validation and action. Free communication is an important stabilizer in communities. To stay in touch is calming, empowering, and satisfying on so many levels, as long as conveyed with dignity. Bringing us to our 7th and last priority on the list. Governance. The control mechanism in the operating systems of self, families, communities, and nations. The discipline that translates to conveyances of equal opportunity, of dignity, in any nation. As we understand and display the royalty that sits in all of us, we can serve ourselves and everyone else more honorably, justly, and more prosperously. Part 3. How can understanding the priority 7 foundations of self and society improve our lives, our homes, our communities, and even our nations? Our life is made of many systems, little ones, and great big ones. But the most important system is the one that surrounds you, your life, your home, and everything else that either supports it or doesn't. We need certain health to live, making it a reasonable first priority. Any the conveyed ownership we hold in our governments represent should understand its importance and convey that into health policy that ensures you get a bandage when you need one. Once healed, you can go back to work. But go back to what? A series of other social facilities, like the self, that are not cared for in the right order of need. Health being first, followed by home, education, energy, transportation, communication, and governance that supports your life, your needs, your desires, and your purpose. There are many confusing priorities placed in front of us, more every day, with the answer. But be sure that the answer that is likely to work the best is the one that builds a better you. If the recipe is the same for the self and for all, shouldn't we get busy and start cooking? There's a whole world to feed, with each bite one at a time, now that we've got a recipe. The Priori 7. Our self and social needs. In just one bite.